You don't forget a moment like that. The moment when you realize you've been robbed by the people you trusted most. It was a Friday. I had just clocked out early from work and figured I'd check my house fund. I wasn't expecting a surprise. I'm the type who tracks every dollar. I had just crossed the $38,000 mark a few weeks ago, enough for a down payment in our part of town. I had a spreadsheet, timelines, interest calculators, everything mapped out to AT. But when I opened the app and saw the balance, it felt like a slap across the face. 14 cents. I blinked, refreshed, closed the app, opened it again. Still, 14 cents. I sat frozen in the driver's seat of my old Civic, hands starting to sweat. I called the bank immediately. The rep was polite but hesitant. It looks like several withdrawals were made in the last 72 hours, she said. My chest tightened. By who? The co-signer on the account, Elaine Carter. My mom. It hit me then, not like a punch, but like a slow, rolling wave of nausea. She had access. She'd suggested the joint account when I moved home, saying it'd be smart for emergencies. I was 23 then. I agreed without question. I mean, it's my mom. I asked the rep where the transfers went. They couldn't say much, just that it was a connected personal account. Hers. I thanked her, hung up, and drove straight home. As soon as I pulled into the driveway, I saw it. A brand new white BMW X3 parked where my Civic used to sit. Windows down, leather seats shining in the sunlight. And Haley, my sister, posing next to it for a selfie. My jaw clenched. She turned, saw me, and smiled. Hey, what do you think? I stepped out slowly. That's your car. Yup. Fully loaded. Isn't she gorgeous? You paid for this? She laughed. Technically, Mom helped. She co-signed. It was a last-minute deal thing. You know how I've needed a car. You used my house fund, I said. She blinked. Huh. My savings. From the account Mom co-signed. It's empty. That money was for my down payment. She hesitated. Give me a look like I was the crazy one. Oh, well, I mean, it wasn't like just your money. Mom said the account was flexible. Family support, right? I stared at her. Are you hearing yourself? I needed a car, okay? And it's not like you were buying the house this week. You can just save again. I turned and walked into the house. Mom was in the kitchen arranging flowers. Dad was sitting with the newspaper like it was 1962. I stood there for a second, waiting for some flicker of guilt on their faces. Nothing. Where's my money? I asked. Mom looked up, unfazed. I assumed you knew. Haley needed help with the down payment. We were going to tell you. You were going to tell me? You took my savings. Dad muttered without looking up. You should have had a separate account. You told me to open it with you. I snapped. Mom waved it off. It's not the end of the world. You're still young. You'll make it back. I stepped closer. That was 5 years of savings. 5 years of saying no to vacations, no to new shoes, no to life. You knew exactly what that money was for. She's your sister, Mom said, like that ended the conversation. Don't you want her to be safe? That did it. I just left. I didn't pack anything. I didn't say another word. I drove around for hours, trying to process how casually they had gutted my future and called it love. The next morning, I woke up in my car. No text from my parents. No, let's talk. No apology. Just a stiff neck, an empty stomach, and a dashboard blinking low fuel. I'd parked outside a 24-hour grocery store, too wired to sleep, too tired to think straight. I used the store's Wi-Fi to scroll through my bank history again. It wasn't just one withdrawal, it was 5. Split across 3 days. All labeled as transfers to external account. Meticulously planned. I texted Haley. Me. You really think it's okay what you did? Haley, you're seriously still mad? It's not like you were about to buy a house tomorrow. Haley, again, and FYI, Mom said you should have said something if it was that urgent. I stared at the screen, then powered off my phone. My house fund wasn't just about buying a place. It was proof that I could do this on my own. That I wasn't just the safe son, the boring one. The one who stayed quiet while Haley wrecked every car and blew through every credit card. Back at home, my room was probably untouched, as if nothing had changed. Meanwhile, I was parked next to a shopping cart corral, watching a teenager collect carts like he was trying not to exist. I drove to the one person I knew wouldn't gaslight me, my friend Marcus. He opened the door in sweats, holding a Pop-Tart. Bro, you okay? No, I said. Can I crash for a few days? He didn't even ask why. Just pointed to the futon. You want the Wi-Fi or a beer first? Both. That night, I explained everything to him. Marcus is blunt. Always has been. Once told me my beard made me look like a sad Viking. But when I finished talking, he didn't joke. That's theft, he said. Straight up. She had access. Yeah, so? You give someone your keys. That doesn't mean they get to sell your car. I nodded. I've been Googling stuff. Legal options. He raised an eyebrow. You thinking about suing your mom? I'm thinking about something. He didn't judge. He just said, whatever you decide, don't back down. Later that week, Haley posted a video on Instagram. Caption, blessings on blessings. Work hard, manifest harder, nail Polish medium skin tone, hashtag BMW, hashtag glow up. The video showed her spinning in front of the SUV, twirling her keys. The comments made me sick. At Alyssa, yes queen. At Dylan Fit, sheesh. Girl boss mode activated. At Tiff Reads, inspo tbh. How do you afford all this? I stared at that last comment. How do you afford all this? You don't. You just take what isn't yours. When I confronted my mom the next day, by phone, because I wasn't stepping foot in that house, she didn't even sound rattled. It's just a car, she said. She needed help. And I needed a house, I said. I worked for that. You knew it. You watched me. Well, Haley's never been as financially savvy as you. We just thought. You thought I wouldn't fight back. Silence. I added, you were wrong. Then I hung up. And for the first time, I felt something shift, like I wasn't just the quiet son anymore. I was a man with nothing left to lose, and a memory long enough to never let them forget. I didn't want to make this public. I really didn't. But Haley forced my hand. She kept posting the car. TikToks with music. Reels of her throwing the keys in slow motion. Instagram stories with captions like, grind harder, and manifestation queen. She even posted a fake invoice, a screenshot from a car quote site that made it look like she paid for the whole thing herself. And people believed it. They commented, shared, sent her DMs asking for financial tips. The same girl who once tried to pay a Domino's driver in Sephora gift cards was now an online finance icon. That's when I realized this wasn't just about money anymore. It was about erasure. She didn't just take my savings. She was building her image on top of my sacrifice. So I told the truth. I didn't post anything dramatic. No names. Just a clean, quiet post. Saved $38,000 over 5 years for a down payment. Family member emptied the account without my permission to buy a luxury car. My own mother helped. I was told to just save again. If you've ever had your hard work stolen and repackaged as someone else's success, I see you. I posted it on my private Twitter. It blew up. People shared their own stories. One guy, my brother drained our shared inheritance to buy a boat. My parents said, don't ruin his summer. Another, my sister used my savings to pay off her credit card debt and said I was being toxic for bringing it up. I wasn't alone. But that didn't mean Haley liked the exposure. She texted me 2 days later. Haley, wow? Really? You're airing this out online. Me, you've been doing it since day one. Haley, that's different. I didn't use your name. Me, you didn't have to. She didn't reply. But later that day, her boyfriend, or whatever he was, DM'd me from a burner account. At RealXGuy95. You need to take that shit down. Haley's losing followers. I screenshotted it. Saved it. Proof that all of this was about image, not remorse. Meanwhile, I got a response from a legal forum I posted in. A licensed attorney messaged me privately. He said it was a gray area, technically legal, morally disgusting. But if I could prove the money was never intended to be shared, I might have a case for civil theft or unjust enrichment. He offered a consultation. Free. I booked it immediately. That same night, my aunt called. Not my mom's sister, my dad's. The one who lives 2 states away and only shows up for funerals and Facebook birthdays. She had seen the post, recognized the subtext, called to say, I figured something like this would happen. Your mom always covered for Haley. I'm sorry, kid. That was the first time anyone in my extended family had said those words to me. I'm sorry. She didn't offer to fix it. Didn't offer money. Just acknowledgement. It was weird how healing that felt. The next day, I showed up at my parents' house. I knocked. Mom opened the door like I was a stranger trying to sell solar panels. What? I need to talk to Haley. And I need you to hear it too. She crossed her arms. We're not doing this with you being emotional. I stepped inside. I'm pressing charges. She went pale. Civil theft. Maybe unjust enrichment. I talked to a lawyer. I've got transaction records, bank statements, screenshots, and I'm done playing the quiet son. Haley came into the hallway holding a smoothie. She smirked. You're not serious? I turned to her. I'm very serious. You're going to sue your own family? You stopped being family the day you used me like a stepping stool. She looked at Mom. Are you going to let him? Mom didn't say anything, just stared at the floor. And for the first time, I saw fear on Haley's face, not because I was yelling, but because I wasn't anymore. Because I meant it. The first legal meeting wasn't dramatic. Just me, a laptop, a stack of statements, and a lawyer named Rami who looked more like a high school history teacher than a man who could gut you in court. He let me talk, listened without interrupting, nodded when I pulled up transaction logs, highlighted the timestamps, cross-checked the authorization signatures. When I finished, he looked up and said, "This isn't just recoverable. It's winnable." I blinked. Even though she was on the account? He nodded. Intent matters. Documentation helps. If we can show that the funds were yours exclusively, for a clearly stated purpose, and that she withdrew them for unrelated personal use, we have a case. What about my mom? Depends. If she acted as an accomplice or facilitated it knowingly, she could be named too. I didn't say anything. He added, most cases like this don't go to trial. Once they realize you're serious, people fold. That was the moment it became real. I wasn't just angry. I had leverage. Haley found out I was meeting with a lawyer and lost it. She called me 6 times in one day. I didn't answer. Then she switched tactics, Instagram stories, tweets, vague subposts. Some people will do anything to tear their family down, even sue their own mother. Pathetic. Y'all ever seen someone so bitter about being poor they'd attack their own blood? Nail polish sparkles. Her followers started chiming in. At Carlybub, don't even give him attention. You're thriving. At Braden_XX, jealousy is loud AF. One guy even made a meme out of it. A split image, one side her car, other side me from an old college photo looking tired, under the caption, "Grind harder, cry quieter." Haley reposted it with laughing emojis. So I posted too. I shared the bank statement. Not the account number, nothing private, just the summary. The deposits, the dates, the withdrawals. Caption: 5 years of saving, 1 week of betrayal. Here's the truth behind the luxury. Be careful who holds the keys to your future. It went viral again. This time bigger. People tagged news accounts, financial influencers. One even offered to pay my legal fees. I turned him down. This wasn't about money anymore. It was about clarity. Then the tide shifted. A high school teacher of ours, Mrs. Ellis, posted a long comment. I taught both of these kids. One of them stayed late to help clean after class. The other used to cheat off him and call it teamwork. Don't be fooled by glitter. Integrity lasts longer. It got hundreds of likes. I didn't respond. I didn't have to. Because Haley's glow-up was unraveling. I finally saw Dad in person, unexpectedly. I was at the gas station near Marcus's place, and he pulled up in the family SUV. He got out. Didn't say anything for a minute. Then, "You're embarrassing your mother." I didn't look up from the pump. She embarrassed herself. This should have stayed in the family. She made sure it didn't when she chose Haley over me. He sighed. "You always were dramatic." I turned. "No," I said. "I just finally stopped playing dead while everyone else got to live." He didn't respond. Just got back in the car. That night, Haley deleted 3 of her car posts. The meme disappeared too, and I got an email from a new address. HaleyLawyersMath@gmail.com. Apparently, she was getting legal advice of her own now. Good. Because I wasn't backing down. Not until every cent she took was accounted for. 2 weeks after my post went viral, Haley tried to DM me again. "Haley, you made your point. Can we settle this quietly?" "Haley, this is making things hard for me professionally." "Haley, Mom's crying every day." I didn't reply. I forwarded the screenshots to Rami, my lawyer. His response was short. "She's nervous." That's good. Keep everything documented. It was strange how her tone had shifted. Gone were the sparkly captions, the haters gonna hate posts, the smug videos. Now it was silence. And silence, for once, was a gift. Meanwhile, I filed the formal claim. Civil theft. Conversion. Intentional interference with financial expectancy. Rami guided every step, and every document was airtight. My parents hadn't just enabled her. My mom had signed the bank documents herself. Haley's name was nowhere. Every dollar was traceable, and every excuse they gave was unraveling under the weight of their own words. What hit harder than anything, though, was the day I ran into Mrs. Jacobs, our childhood neighbor. She stopped me in the grocery store aisle. "You okay, kiddo?" I nodded. "Getting there." She gave me a sad smile. "Your mom came by last week. Said you were attacking the family. Said you were unstable." I stiffened. "She also said Haley was going through a hard time and needed support." I laughed. Quiet. Bitter. "She's driving a $42,000 car," I said. "What part of that screams hard time?" Mrs. Jacobs patted my arm. "You always were the one holding things together." "I see you." It was such a simple sentence, but it nearly broke me, because that's what I'd wanted all along, not revenge, not applause, just to be seen. Then came the letter. A formal settlement offer. Haley, or her lawyer, more accurately, wanted to settle out of court. The offer? $8,000 and an NDA. Rami nearly laughed. "She thinks your silence is worth 30 grand. I looked at the letter again, and then I said, "We go to court." Because $8,000 wouldn't fix the hole in my chest. Wouldn't rebuild what they stole. Wouldn't undo the years of being overlooked, downplayed, tolerated. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about making the lie stop living in the room. My dad sent me a long message that night. No greeting. No punctuation. Just raw words. "This is not how families fix things. You were supposed to be the responsible one. You were supposed to be better than this." I didn't reply. Because I was being responsible. Responsible for telling the truth. Responsible for holding the line they always crossed. Responsible for making sure my future wasn't built on apologies I never received. Haley posted one more thing before going completely dark. A note on a plain black screen. "Sometimes you do what you have to do to survive. People will twist your story no matter what." The comments weren't kind. At Abby Girl, "You survived. By stealing from your brother?" At Jaden Reds, "So we're just not going to talk about the bank statement?" At Melis_20, "Delete your account, Haley." She did. 3 hours later, her profile was gone. Just like that. The influencer, the hustle queen, the girl who took my money and called it magic, vanished. But I wasn't done. Because some things still needed to be said. Out loud. And in court. The court date came faster than I expected. Not in terms of time, legally, it took weeks. But emotionally, it felt like everything had led to that hallway. The courthouse was beige and clinical. The benches were uncomfortable. Haley sat 2 rows ahead of me with her lawyer, dressed like she was going to a funeral. She didn't look at me. My mom sat beside her, jaws set like stone, arms crossed. My dad wasn't there. Typical. Rami leaned in. "You ready?" I nodded. We didn't need drama. We had documents. Bank statements. Transaction logs. Texts. My original budget spreadsheet, the one I made 5 years ago with the header, "First House, 2024 Plan." I watched the judge read through everything. There was no yelling. No gasps. Just paperwork and principle. Haley's lawyer tried to argue shared familial expectation of resource pooling. The judge frowned. There was no legal arrangement of joint ownership. Then came the moment that gutted me more than I thought it would. The judge turned to Haley. "Did you ever contribute to this fund?" She mumbled, "No." "Did you have permission to use these funds?" She shifted. "I thought I did." The judge didn't blink. "Did you?" "No." That was it. Final ruling. Haley was liable for the full amount. My mother, as co-signer and facilitator, was held jointly responsible. Judgment in favor of the plaintiff, $38,432.76, including filing fees and interest. It wasn't about the number. It was about the fact that someone finally said it out loud. What they did was wrong. I walked out of the courtroom into the sunlight. It was cold. Rami patted my shoulder and left to get coffee. Haley stormed past me without a word. My mom followed, looking like she'd swallowed vinegar. I didn't chase them. Didn't yell. Didn't gloat. I just breathed. That night, Marcus brought over takeout and a 6-pack. We sat on the floor of my rented apartment, watching stupid comedy reruns, and for the first time in months, I laughed without guilt. The check arrived 3 weeks later. It wasn't from Haley. It came from my mother's account. No note. No apology. Just silence. Fine. I used it to open a new account. My name only. Then I put a deposit on a quiet little condo just outside the city. Not big. Not flashy. But mine. Every tile. Every wall. Every inch earned. The last time I saw Haley was 6 months later. She was working retail folding jeans at a high-end mall store. We made eye contact. Brief. Hollow. She didn't wave. I didn't stop. But in that split-second glance, I saw it. Regret. Not because she missed me, but because she finally realized the followers didn't pay rent. And the car didn't make her untouchable. People ask me sometimes if I regret taking it that far. And I always say no. Because the truth? I didn't ruin my family. I just stopped letting them ruin me.